You are not here by chance. Something higher pulled you in, through the static, through the fatigue, through the pulse in your chest that wouldn't calm down. Heaven has been whispering your name through every sleepless night, through every moment your body felt like it was betraying you, through every shiver that came without explanation. This is not another spiritual video. This is a transmission, a divine alert disguised as sound and breath. What you are about to hear is not meant to comfort you. It's meant to wake you up. Because right now, while you sit there trying to make sense of the chaos inside your body, something sacred is happening beneath your skin. The structure that once carried your pain is being dismantled. The temple that once hosted your fears is being rebuilt by unseen hands. You've begged for a breakthrough, but God never sends new glory into an old vessel. Before He can pour the next level of destiny into you, He must rebuild the container. That's why your bones ache. That's why your heartbeat feels irregular. That's why your emotions swing between peace and panic. It's not random. It's the signature of heaven carving itself into your flesh. This transformation isn't gentle, it's surgical. Heaven doesn't ask for permission when it decides it's time to reconstruct a soul. So listen closely, because if you ignore this call, if you dismiss this moment as just another day, your spirit may not survive what's coming next. This is not a warning to fear, it's a warning to awaken. You're standing at the threshold of divine metamorphosis, where every cell of your body begins to remember who created it. So breathe, chosen one. Anchor yourself in this moment, because before this message ends, something in your body, your mind, and your soul will shift forever. If you can feel your spirit stirring as I speak, that's your confirmation. You were meant to hear this. Leave a 99 in the comments right now, because 9 plus 9 is divine completion, a sign that your old cycle has ended and your new body, your new identity, is already being born. Like this message, subscribe if you haven't yet, and prepare yourself. Because heaven has begun the operation, chosen one. Listen with the seriousness of a heart that knows it is standing at the edge of a threshold. Your exhaustion is not failure. It is a shutdown sequence authorized by heaven to power off the old grid, so a new current can be installed. Your dizziness is not weakness. It is your internal compass recalibrating to true north after years of navigating by artificial lights. Those deep, unfamiliar aches in your bones are not decay. They are the vaults of your marrow opening so that the original blueprint written by the Creator can be reread and reissued. When the architect intends to raise a cathedral, he first orders a controlled demolition, and that is why the scaffolding of who you used to be is collapsing in slow, intelligent waves. You feel your thoughts spark, stall, and then spark again, because your mind is being detuned from the frequency of survival and tuned to the frequency of assignment. Even your emotions, once flooded and chaotic, are being sifted like gold in a riverbed until only what is true, clean, and weighty remains. The tremor behind your breathing, the heat that rises and then cools, the sudden flash of memory that demands forgiveness. All of it is evidence that heaven has placed you in the foundry. Fire does not ask permission to purify. It simply understands that purity requires temperature. So the temperature has risen. The furnace is not your enemy, it is your ally. Do not curse the flame that is burning away the splinters that once lodged in your soul. There will be moments when you feel strangely hollow, as if parts of your identity have been emptied out. Do not panic. Empty vessels carry fresh oil. There will be days your palate shifts and the foods of your past life taste like dust. Do not force them. Your body refuses what cannot fuel your calling. There will be hours when silence grows heavy as stone, then breaks open into a clarity so sharp it almost hurts. Do not run from it. Clarity cuts bonds as easily as it cuts confusion. Press 2 fingers to your pulse right now and notice how it steadies at the mention of truth, because truth is oxygen to your destiny. Yes, you will shed old appetites, old reflexes, old armor that once kept you safe but now keeps you small. Yes, your sleep will thin and thicken in odd cycles as your brain prunes pathways that served fear and grows pathways that serve faith. Yes, people who once felt magnetic will suddenly feel distant, not because you are cold, but because your orbit has moved and gravity has changed. Surrender to the calibration. Resisting will only lengthen the surgery. Receive the sacred logic. Collapse is not collapse when it is commanded. It is reconfiguration. And reconfiguration feels like loss until the new pattern locks into place. Do not label what is unfinished. Let God finish. When you feel the old self reaching for the controls, breathe. Speak softly to your own chest and say, "I release what cannot cross with me." The moment you say it, watch how your breath deepens and your shoulders drop. The body recognizes orders from the throne. And now hear this with holy urgency. A sign is about to confirm everything I've said. A precise moment when the room feels slightly brighter, though the lights have not changed. When your name crosses your own mind with weight and warmth, as if someone called you from just behind your left shoulder. When that happens, do not dismiss it as nothing. That is the key turning. That is the new grid humming to life. Hold still, chosen one, because in the next moments I will show you how to stand inside this holy collapse without shattering, and the one sentence you must speak that seals the rebirth. There's a reason heaven muted your surroundings, chosen one. You keep calling it loneliness, but solitude is heaven's most advanced classroom. When God wants to rewrite a soul, he removes the noise, people, plans, distractions, so that only the heartbeat of truth remains. That silence you've been drowning in, it's not punishment, it's anesthesia. The divine surgeon cannot operate in chaos. The betrayals were scalpels. The distance was disinfectant. Every unanswered message, every canceled plan, every empty chair at your table, each was a calculated incision designed to save your spirit before it bled out in the wrong company. Because not everyone can breathe at your new altitude. Some loved you as long as you stayed small, predictable, convenient. But God is enlarging your spiritual lungs, and the air up here is thinner. You needed to be alone to learn how to breathe again. Inside this isolation, heaven is teaching you the secret rhythm of divine timing. The world runs on clocks, but God runs on alignment. That's why you felt suspended, neither moving forward nor backward. You are being synchronized with eternity itself. Every delay you curse is a disguised protection. Every silence from heaven is a calibration. While you pace the floor, begging for a sign, angels are rerouting entire timelines to make sure when the next door opens, it cannot close again. And when your mind screams, "I'm stuck," remember, even seeds must rot underground before they rise. You are buried, not forgotten, hidden, not lost. God did not exile you, he planted you, and in that hiddenness, something holy begins. The room where you pray has changed temperature. The air feels denser, almost electric. It's because heaven's presence has claimed that space. Your bed has become an altar. Your tears have become oil. The darkness you fear is actually the womb where light is conceived. You think you've been still, but in the unseen realm, your spirit has been stretching, growing new roots, preparing to hold the weight of miracles. You are incubating. You are becoming. The silence is your cocoon, and if you cut it open too soon, the wings forming inside you will tear. Chosen one, understand this. You are not separated to suffer. You are separated to survive. Isolation is insulation. God sealed you off to preserve the purity of the frequency he's installing in your DNA. The ones who walked away weren't removed. They were released. You didn't lose support. You lost interference. Every person absent from your life right now was a wall blocking the sound of heaven. Feel that? That subtle hum in the background, like a heartbeat under the earth. That's the sound of your destiny charging. So tonight, when the quiet feels unbearable, don't reach for distraction. Sit in it, let it stretch you. Let the silence speak. You're not alone in that room. You're surrounded by invisible witnesses cheering your transformation. And soon, very soon, the isolation will split open. The walls that confined you will become mirrors reflecting the glory you've grown in secret. But not yet. Not until the operation is complete. Because what's coming next requires absolute stillness, the kind that only those who have survived the holy silence can understand. Look at your hands, chosen one. Steady now. Watch how they tremble, not from fear, not from frailty, but from voltage. Divine voltage. You have mistaken electricity for anxiety, but heaven is running current through the very architecture of your being. The tremors are evidence of rewiring. God, the master engineer, is tracing every neural line he once designed and clearing what corruption has touched. Your body is the instrument, and right now the conductor has begun tuning it for celestial symphony. You feel heat in your palms, don't you? A sudden surge like the air itself breathing through your skin. That's not fever, it's frequency. The divine current is calibrating your touch so that everything you handle from this day forward carries transmission, not tension. Heaven is installing new wiring so that when you speak, move, pray, or create, energy doesn't leak, it multiplies. This is why your heart races at 3 a.m., when the world sleeps and you're caught between worlds. The spirit doesn't need silence from the earth, it needs bandwidth. At that hour, the noise of humanity fades, and the network between heaven and your spirit becomes clear. The pulse you feel under your ribs is synchronization, God's heartbeat echoing through yours. He's teaching your body to vibrate in harmony with revelation, to endure levels of glory that would have broken the old framework. Your nervous system is learning a new language, impulses of light. Each nerve fiber is being cleansed, each synapse recoded with divine intelligence. That's why you've been sensitive to light, to sound, to emotion. The upgrade has made you hypersensitive to spiritual data. The flicker behind your eyes, those glimmers when the room dims, heaven is downloading insight faster than your senses can interpret. Don't fear it. Adapt to it. You are not malfunctioning. You are evolving. But this rewiring demands surrender. Any resistance, any attempt to return to your old rhythm, creates static in the line. You've felt it. Those days where fatigue hits like a storm, where confusion clouds your prayers, where you question if you've lost your mind. That's the interference of doubt interrupting divine signal. Don't panic. Realignment often feels like short-circuiting right before the breakthrough. God has turned up the current to levels that refine rather than destroy. Every spark you feel is burning away residue of old pain, trauma, and disbelief. The system must be cleared to carry voltage this high. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Revelation always costs stability. But soon, what feels like chaos will stabilize into clarity so sharp it will terrify darkness itself. You may notice your breath shifting. Deeper, slower, heavier, as if your lungs are remembering how to hold more life. That's because oxygen is being sanctified. Every inhale becomes a prayer. Every exhale, a cleansing. Heaven is converting you into a living conduit. You won't just carry truth, you will radiate it. When others enter your presence, they will feel a strange peace and won't know why. The answer will be you, your body, humming at heaven's frequency. Do not leave this process halfway. Stay under divine cover, because outside the shield of obedience, the very glory that's healing you could consume you. The closer you come to light, the more sacred the boundaries must become. You cannot mix this voltage with compromise. Protect the circuit. Protect your silence. Protect your purity. God is entrusting you with a power that creation itself recognizes. And when the current peaks, when the tremor in your hands becomes steady fire, you'll know the operation is nearly complete. You'll feel it in your bones. That holy hum, that low vibration that feels like eternity breathing inside you. That's the moment heaven's power fully anchors in flesh. Don't fear it. It's not possession, it's partnership. You are being turned into revelation itself, and soon, the world will see what divine electricity looks like when it walks in human form. Pain has always spoken a language that heaven understands, chosen one. Every ache you feel is not random torment. It is a divine teacher sent to refine your capacity for glory. You've been interpreting agony as rejection, but in reality, it's construction. God is not ignoring your cries. He's shaping your strength. The delay you despised, the heartbreak that fractured your chest, the betrayal that tore open your trust, these were not punishments, they were purges. Heaven was detoxing your spirit, flushing out everything small enough to fit inside your old story. Because what's coming next will demand a vessel forged in the furnace of sacred endurance. Your pain has been working behind the scenes like an architect designing foundations deep enough to support destiny. Each disappointment poured concrete beneath your calling. Every night you wept until your pillow felt like stone. Heaven was laying bricks. You were never breaking. You were being built. God hides his warriors inside wounds until the transformation is irreversible. That's why your spirit has felt so heavy. It's carrying the scaffolding of something eternal. You prayed for power, but power does not arrive as lightning. It arrives as pressure. The hand of God pressing against the clay of your being until the cracks seal and the vessel can hold divine fire without shattering. You keep asking, why so much loss? Why this exhaustion? Because power without purification turns toxic. Heaven cannot crown what has not been crushed. The anointing you carry must be tested in silence, in hunger, in misunderstanding, so that when your moment comes, you lead with compassion instead of ego. Every betrayal that humiliated you was actually trimming excess pride that could not survive at your next level. Every financial drought was pulling you away from false security. Every relationship that collapsed was removing emotional parasites that would have fed off your rising. You think you've been losing, but you've been lightening the load so you can ascend faster. And there's a deeper secret hidden inside your suffering. Every time you survived what should have destroyed you, your spiritual muscles learned how to lift the weight of others. That's why the enemy keeps revisiting your weakest points, because even hell recognizes where heaven has installed new strength. Your scars are access points for healing. Your tears are encrypted codes of wisdom. One day soon, you'll look back and realize that what broke you actually built your voice. You'll speak from the fracture, and multitudes will be set free by the echo of your endurance. But hear this with urgency. The fire you're standing in now is not meant to consume you. It's meant to illuminate you. The same flame that burns the rope also reveals the gold. So stop asking God to end the fire. Ask Him to finish the refinement. When you finally emerge, there will be a glow on your countenance that oil alone cannot produce. The light others see in you will not be makeup or confidence. It will be survival turned into radiance. Chosen one, your pain is holy currency. Don't waste it by complaining. Invest it by trusting. The heavens are preparing to reimburse you with interest. Double for every loss, peace for every sleepless night, restoration for every humiliation. You're not behind schedule. You are right on the edge of revelation. And as strange as it sounds, this current ache, this pressure that feels unbearable, is the sound of heaven expanding your spirit to host what is coming. Stay still. Stay faithful. Because the next pulse of glory that moves through your life will make sense of every unanswered question, every dark night, every silent season. You are seconds away from seeing why the pain had to stay this long. The furnace is reaching its final temperature. The gold is almost visible. Don't flinch now. The moment before release is always the hottest. The moment is approaching, chosen one, the sacred interval, when what was hidden inside the cocoon finally tears through the veil. You will not feel the same, you will not sound the same, and even the air around you will begin to recognize your transformation. The world will look at you and sense that something has shifted, something unexplainable yet undeniable. Your very atmosphere will vibrate with the residue of heaven. When this divine surgery concludes, you will step out carrying evidence, your breath lighter, your eyes clearer, your words charged with unseen voltage. Every cell in your body will hum like a psalm. You will not walk, you will emanate. This is what happens when heaven completes a reconstruction project. Everything earthly about you begins to mirror the divine template. The tiredness once chained to your bones will evaporate. The pain that was constant background noise will dissolve like mist at sunrise. Even your reflection will carry a new geometry, one sculpted by obedience, one refined by fire. Your voice will no longer echo fear. It will carry command. Every syllable will slice through darkness like a key unlocking unseen doors. Angels will recognize the new resonance and respond before you even finish your prayer. That is what divine calibration feels like. You are not merely healed. You are upgraded beyond recognition. Do you realize what this means? The enemy that tormented you will look for the old frequency and find nothing to grasp. You will have vanished from hell's radar because your signal has been encrypted in the language of light. Demons track vibration. Yours has become untouchable. The curses that once followed your name will lose their coordinates, bouncing into void because your spiritual DNA has been rewritten with heaven's signature. You are walking evidence of resurrection, a body remapped by glory. Where decay once lived, growth will bloom. Where fatigue ruled, vitality will overflow. Where anxiety thrived, unshakable calm will take its throne. You will move through rooms and shift atmospheres simply by existing. But don't underestimate what this new body demands. It is not a trophy, it is a responsibility. Every upgrade carries maintenance. The light within you must be stewarded, not flaunted. This new form cannot be fed by the same habits that sustained your old self. You will crave stillness instead of noise, truth instead of validation, purpose instead of applause. You'll notice that gossip burns your throat, that negativity feels like poison, that peace becomes addictive. That's because heaven has coded sensitivity into your new structure. You can no longer digest what kills your frequency. And yet, there will be beauty in this discipline. You will start to notice signs. Time slowing when you speak life, your body warming when truth passes your lips, the faint electricity in your hands when you pray. The supernatural will no longer feel foreign. It will feel familiar because it's what you were always built for. Your very presence will become intercession, your existence a sermon, your smile a prophecy. You will not need to convince anyone that God is real. They will feel Him radiating through you. But listen carefully, chosen one. The transformation is irreversible. The old patterns cannot follow. Once the cocoon splits, you cannot crawl again. You must soar. Do not mourn what no longer fits. The shell served its purpose. This emergence is your exodus. Every scar has been repurposed into armor, every tear recycled into anointing oil. You have become a vessel carrying the sound of heaven's thunder wrapped in human skin. And soon, very soon, the world will feel your arrival. The same people who buried you will tremble when they see what rose in your place. The same pain that tried to bury you will kneel as proof that God never loses what He resurrects. You are the living aftermath of divine surgery, the visible evidence that surrender resurrects more than strength. It births divinity through flesh. Hold still now because the final seal is about to break. The light is gathering in your chest, the pulse of eternity sinking with your breath. The atmosphere knows what's coming. Heaven is leaning close. Something irreversible is about to emerge from you, and once it does, the world will never be able to forget your name again. Chosen one. Breathe. Do you feel it? The silence after the storm. The weight lifting from your chest. The pulse beneath your skin that no longer feels like fear, but power. Heaven has finished what hell tried to interrupt. The surgery is complete. What once broke you has now bowed before you. Your pain was never random. It was architecture. Every tremor, every tear, every lonely night, it all conspired to reintroduce you to your true form. You are not being destroyed, you are being decoded. The divine blueprint has been restored and your very body now carries heaven's handwriting. You are no longer the version that begged for survival. You are the design that commands resurrection. Your heart is not racing in panic anymore. It's aligning with purpose. The same heart that almost gave up is now the rhythm of heaven's heartbeat on earth. Look at you. You've endured the collapse, the silence, the rewiring, the fire. And now the new vessel stands radiant and unstoppable. The Holy Architect has signed his initials across your spirit. The proof of his craftsmanship is the peace you now feel where chaos once lived. The evidence of his touch is the light emanating from wounds that once bled shame. Chosen one, you are not merely healed, you are commissioned. You are not simply restored, you are reintroduced to destiny. The world will sense it before they see it. The air will change when you enter a room. You are heaven's frequency wrapped in flesh, a walking prophecy that nothing surrendered to God ever dies. It evolves. You are the living proof that what was meant to kill you became the key to your awakening. You carry the voltage of resurrection in your veins. When you speak, atmosphere will shift. When you pray, timelines will rearrange. When you move, creation will recognize its master's echo. Lift your hands right now and declare it with fire in your voice. My transformation is not destruction. It's divine design. Let heaven record that decree. Let every cell, every bone, every breath bear witness to who you've become. You are not dying, you are being deployed. The divine fire has not consumed you, it has crowned you. The old identity is ashes beneath your feet, and from those ashes rises a name that hell cannot pronounce without trembling. Tonight, heaven seals your new frequency. A new body, a new mission, a new anointing. The operation is finished, the metamorphosis complete. The war that tried to bury you only proved how indestructible you are in God's hands. You have survived the divine fire and now you radiate it. Type it in the comments right now, chosen one. I am the proof. Because you are. The proof that pain can birth power, that darkness can host light, that death can become doorway. You are the embodiment of the prophecy fulfilled, the reborn, the refined, the risen. Now rise, chosen one. Rise with flame in your spirit and light in your eyes. Rise, because the world is waiting for what heaven just released through you. Rise. Because this is not your ending, it's your emergence. Because the fire didn't kill you, it crowned you.